Hello, beloveds. Welcome to the Amanda Collins podcast. It's my honor to help you awaken to joy, be your greatest self, and live a life you love. I'm Amanda Collins. Each week, I'll share tips, practices, and rituals to help you feel the storehouse of joy inside. I'll answer your questions and talk with thought leaders from around the world about health, wealth, love, conscious living, and parenting. Are you ready to live your most fulfilled life? Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. This is episode 45. Do you ever feel like the universe is trying to tell you something, but you just don't understand the message? It's always guiding us. The question is, are you listening? Carl Jung believes synchronicities were evidence of a unifying consciousness at play in the universe. We are all part of an all-encompassing, limitless universe. Perhaps there's just a slight language barrier for you to really open up and understand the ways that the universe is communicating with you. You might think that in order to get guidance, you have to have a visit from an angel. And yes, that could be true, but it can come in much more simple ways. So here's some ways to identifying the universe communicating with you. For me, it's nature. Nature is always guiding me, or specific animals that I see when I'm out in nature, like owls, wisdom, the deer, compassion, the hawk, on purpose. Perhaps it's an eagle, but there's lots of different ways. Perhaps you keep having a reoccurring dream, and the universe is trying to communicate with you. Maybe there's a song that everywhere you go, whether it's a store or a restaurant or get into your car and turn on the radio, it's playing. Maybe it's Frozen, Let It Go, or Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow at Fleetwood Mac, or some song that lyrics speak to you on a soul level. For some people, a specific smell comes up to allow them to pay attention to guidance. You might even be at a grocery store and you hear a conversation from two people next to you, and it's like they're speaking to you about the question that you have in that moment. You could be just driving down the road and a truck goes by with a big sign on the side of it saying, "Go for it." You could even just be opening up the trash can and there's a wrapper on it that says, "Don't do it." Somebody walks by wearing a t-shirt and a message on it that really captures you. How about a high-pitched ringing in your ear? Of course, ruling out any medical conditions, but a lot of the time this is divine guidance wanting to come through. Perhaps you're seeing a certain sequence of numbers. For me, it's every time I see 420, and anytime I glance at the clock, it's either that time, late in the day, or early in the morning. And then there's usually guidance behind those numbers. You got to really trust in obstacles that may present themselves. So for example, a text that sends by accident, a text that doesn't send, perhaps the same with an email. Perhaps there's a roadblock and you don't get to your appointment on time. Have you ever thought about somebody randomly and you bump into them and they've got something to share with you? So these are all just ways. There's so many other ways that the universe is communicating with you. So what I really invite you to do is be open in mind and heart. Perhaps notice things that keep reoccurring. Really start listening to that inner knowing, listening to your body as you walk in somewhere. If your body feels tight, or your throat or your heart, you feel tightness, listen to how your body is communicating with you. Pay attention to signs and don't disregard them. And let's not overcomplicate the signs. Your home also speaks to you via the universe. If your light bulbs keep getting burnt out, it's usually the universe in your home saying, hey, you're a little burnt out. Take some time to rest and rejuvenate, have some self-care. If you notice the door handles in your home starting to get loose, perhaps it's the universe saying, hey, it's time to create more structure. It's time to take control. If you walk into a space that's covered in masks, it's usually a sign that somebody's hiding behind something. Plumbing in feng shui is really related with emotions. So if your plumbing is becoming blocked, the toilets are getting blocked up, a good question to ask yourself is, what emotions am I not feeling? And give yourself some space to process whatever you need to. Leaks is usually related with leaking taps and faucets or roofs, usually related with prosperity and money leaking out. So again, this is just ways of the universe communicating with us and inviting us to really be guided and trust our intuition. So I'm going to invite you to take time every day to give yourself some space just to be quiet and listen, perhaps journal about some of these messages that you're receiving, and just really feel into them. And if they feel right, take the action or the non-action that needs to be taken. Please join me for my free monthly new moon healing meditation and ritual circles. If you go to amandacollins.com, under online courses, you'll find the link to join us this month. Now I would love to hear from you. What are some ways that the universe communicates with you? And remember, by taking the time to share, it might just open up other people's intuition and help them understand how the universe communicates with them. Thanks, beloveds, for joining us today. Please come over to theamandacollins.com to continue the conversation and get access to all my podcasts, blogs, and videos. Did you enjoy this podcast? If so, please subscribe to the Amanda Collins podcast on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Feel free to pass this podcast on to your friends. That helps us get incredible guests to share their secrets for an inspired and joyful life. If you want more great resources, come over to amandacollins.com and join my mailing list for all my latest content. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, I'm sending love and joy your way.